You guys, it is Saturday. What's going on, everybody? You know what time it is when we talk to our wonderful ecosystem partners in our wonderful community. We've got Jandevman. Jandevman. That's how I like to say it. I don't know. We're going to be breaking it all down here very shortly, guys. Let's get this intro started. For those who don't know, THORChain is the world's leading Bitcoin DEX. You can swap 13 different blockchains across 41 different pools without using bridges or wrap tokens. Check it out at swap.thorchain.org, swap.thorchain.org. Anyone in the world can use THORChain, you guys. There's no account to open, no KYC is required, and privacy is a human right. THORChain has two tokens, bRUNE and TCY. The fees for swapping on THORChain are paid in bRUNE, and that's where the yield comes from. The fees are deducted from swaps, so you don't need to own bRUNE to trade on THORChain, you guys. It's pretty cool. The bRUNE token is also currently deflationary as 5% of fees are burned. 10% of protocol fees goes to TCY token holders. Remember to stake your TCY tokens in order to collect this yield. There are no block rewards on THORChain. The protocol fees are real money paid by real users. THORChain is more than just a DEX, you guys. It is a programmable layer 1 with the ability to create smart contracts and apps. This app layer is being developed by Rujira. We're going to be talking about that today, you guys. You better believe it. You guys, if you need help with THORChain in general, please join the THORChain community Discord and Telegram group. Links for those are on THORChain.org, THORChain.org, and on THORChain.org, guys. Join the email list. It is the best way to stay up to date with THORChain. And always remember, you guys, this is for information and educational purposes only, and this podcast does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. And with that out of the way, you guys, the show has officially begun. My name's Denny. Go by Patriot Sounds on X. I love THORChain, you guys. I'm never going to stop talking about it. I'm addicted. This is a problem. My family life has suffered, but THORChain is more important, and that's the only thing I care about. I'm going to kick it to my main man, Kenton, for an update. What you doing, Kenton? What's going on, brother?
Hey, man. Thanks, Denny. Just got back home and back from vacation, so I haven't been doing much work the last couple of weeks. I gave a bit of an update there on Thursday, little things I have been doing. STO Keplr wallet should be working now. We're going to be working on Treasury wallet next. And then I think like kind of the next major features we'll be adding will be more wallets to be able to connect. The affiliate page, I need to test it and play with it, but I think we have the widget done. Well, sorry, it is done. We just need to play with it and test it and get some. So, Denny, I'm gonna hopefully get you guys in Rune Bond to try it out. And if there's anybody else with anyone else that has a website that they want to try the widget out on, please let me know. We need some people to play with it, see how it works. And yeah, but I'll be, by next Thursday I'll be back fully. I'll get caught up on everything by the next podcast. So I don't have much to report there, guys. So with that being said, oh, go ahead, Denny.
Well, I just want to make sure you survived Air Canada. Sounds like you made it home.
Yeah. It was my fault. I missed my flight. And I got it. Eventually got to sort it out. I called, so I'm at the airport, and I'm like, okay, I missed my flight. I want to rebook it. They're like, well, we can only, how should I say, we can only put you on the next flight. I'm like, well, I don't want to go on the next one out. I want to wait another 24 hours and go. Just wait, all works. Don't worry about it. But like, I couldn't rebook the flight at the airport. Like, I had to call the 1-800 number, and so I called it. This is after midnight. And it was like a 4-hour wait. I'm like, I'm not waiting on a long line for 4 hours. So that's what the automated thing said. So I just went to bed and dealt with it the next day. And by then it was a 2-hour wait, but at least they gave me the option for a callback. And that's why I had to get to take the call on the podcast the other day, because like I don't want to wait another thing. It was like 3 hours I waited for that call. So yeah, but it's just I don't get it, guys. Like, we're supposed to be in the 21st century. Why are things more difficult today than they were 20 years ago? Like, it's crazy. I'm venting. So airlines are like the sexes, centralized exchanges. We got to get rid of them. We need DeFi DEX for airlines somehow for
So
flights.
true.
Maybe it's a good
Ticket
segue.
sales, ticket sales on Rujira. You know how it's going to be,
There we
buddy.
go. There we go. Yes, Apple Air can do everything. Yeah, why don't Jan? How about you give us a intro about yourself? Your journey in crypto and what led to Liquidity. And so
Yeah.
floor is yours, good sir.
Yeah, sure. I'm a long-term DeFi degen, I would say. I joined crypto back in 2017 in that bull run, so to say. So I dipped my toes into buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, immediately saw the potential and wanted to dabble, and dabbled with the ICO mania and thought a lot of the white papers were supposed to be more accurate than just rug pulls. But I've been testing, I would say, pretty much anything in DeFi you can think. I've been in Ethereum. I was quite active back in the EOS, back in the days in 2018, 19, when that was a thing. So I started to building actually portfolio management because I saw the potential in having earnings on the blockchain. But then you also need, to track it to have good performance measurements and all those kind of things. So since 2019, I've been trying to build different type of portfolio applications for myself mainly, because I've been testing everything, like I said. I've been doing market making on different protocols from 2018 and onwards, and I've been dabbling with THORChain back in the chaos days as well. So it's more or less everything. I've been testing around, doing a little bit of everything, and found Kujira back in the days, and really the ethos they had resonated with me, and that's the same with THORChain as well. I like the decentralized piece of it, and to provide something that is available for anyone and everyone on the same terms. That really is my passion and belief. So I started on the Kujira back and found back then, because Liquidity is based on we came from Kujira days and it was called MantaDAO back then. And so I joined the community a little bit later, not when it was actually started. I was a community member just joining, and it was a quite fun story how I had to push myself into it, because I was back then, Pragmatic Monkey was doing monthly reports, and I thought, this is a community that actually is trying to do investment in a professional way, having real reporting and being transparent with everything they do. So that was what drew me into the Liquidity. I would just call it Liquidity for now, to simplify. So I was drawn into, having the professionalism of real reporting and doing financial business on the blockchain in a transparent way, and opening it up for anyone to participate as a community member or just as a passive investor. So this is what was driving, and further on, is, let's say, trying to make it easier to onboard new people, and having any level of, you shouldn't have to know everything about DeFi to be able to participate. So that's what I would like with Liquidity, to be able to. This is a simple investment vehicle where you can be a market maker, staking, you can do all the DeFi primitives with just owning a token. So it is an investment community. And we will do this as professional as we can and as automated as we can. So there's no staff, there's no core team, there's nothing. It is a community of people gathering around investment and providing the best, or being a powerhouse on Rujira, essentially. We will be using all the tools and having a community discussing and being the early adopters of all the technology on Rujira and trying to optimize the revenue streams online for the token holders.
So
I'm not sure, I'm starting to ramble, so
Yeah,
maybe
No,
that's...
you're good.
you're great. No, you're good. But it did spark a question. So like you mentioned, you're talking about doing finance, everything, like on chain and public and all that kind of stuff. I mean, isn't that all of DeFi? Like what was so different about Kujira that drew you to it versus like, I don't know, Aave or Maker or, any other DeFi protocol?
I think it was the simplicity in extracting information from the blockchain, and that was Cosmos. Because for me, it was I really like to play around with it, but to be able to also extract the information in a simple way, so to say. Because I mean, if you have 50 plus positions, you can't do them in the spreadsheet. You have to automate it. And the easiness in extracting the information in combination with the ethos, I don't know why, but I got turned off a bit by the Ethereum back in the days when I was doing transactions, having failed transactions costing me $5 each. So that's where I never used Ethereum that much, because I went back in the days when 2018, 19, I mean, it was not that easy to use DeFi. And if you had failed transactions, it was quite costly. So I was always drawn to blockchains where the transaction fee was reasonable for a regular person to be able to operate. So nowadays, Ethereum is not that expensive. But that's why I use Solana and tested everything, basically, to find something that I would personally use and then try to be able to sell it and onboard others as well onto the same thing.
So were you building on Kujira then before everything moved, before everything happened there and moved over to THORChain?
Yeah, in the sense for the MantaDAO, I mean, it was someone else doing all the stuff, and then it was some kind of drama where the original founder left. And basically, I mean, we had to rebuild everything from scratch because it was his code, or he couldn't turn over the code. And I mean, there was a real blocker for me as well. I mean, if you have a community, you can't have one person owning the code.
You couldn't fork it if it's all open source. Why couldn't you just fork it?
But it wasn't open source. It was his private repos, and he claimed it was licensed code, so he couldn't turn it over to someone else. And so it was a big mess.
A rug pull, basically, in a roundabout way.
Or I won't call it that, but I mean,
I will.
Essentially, I mean, someone paid for it, and then we got nothing for it.
Yeah, that's a rug pull.
In the end, so
yeah.
So that's where I started to basically rebuild everything from scratch, and having it under repos, so that they are still private repos, but they are Liquidity repos, repositories, and I don't deploy any code. So I mean, I have done all the code currently for Liquidity, but it's deployed and run by someone else. So I don't sit on any code myself personally. I mean, that's a layer of transparency and ensuring that it's not depending on any single user. To be decentralized, I mean, it has to be better than that, essentially, what was the case before.
Yeah. Or maybe let's go. So Jan, Kujira has its issues. It turns into Rujira on THORChain. How do you fit in that transition? Like you came over at the same time. Were you in support?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it like...
I mean, we basically, the MantaDAO, we had rebuilt, we had revenue streams on Kujira running, but I mean, you know the drill about the Kujira, the problems with the liquidity and low volumes and all that we are hoping to have a better situation now on the THORChain side. But we had revenue streams, and we had a swap router running on Kujira there, where we could find the best route between any to any token basically. So there was a swap router and a swap front end that was simplifying the user journey to do basically a swap, since it's the trade order book. Otherwise, I mean, you had to go swap from book A and book B and book C and find a way. So that was already live, and we were also doing market making in the books on the old way. So what happened, I mean, when Rujira went over, I mean, we had to basically start over again and rebuild, since the Kujira team took the time to basically improve on the Rujira or Rujira trade. We had to update all our tech stack as well. I mean, to still function the same. So I mean, we built a new swap router contract and found, or had to basically rebuild as well the swap router engine to work on Rujira and THORChain. And then once the CCL came live, or we had some market making before, but once CCL came live, April or whenever it was, we started to deploy capital, because we had about $1 million worth of Treasury that we wanted to deploy on Rujira. So
Is
and
it
now
like
we
$1 million
have,
of stable coins, or
it
Bitcoin or ETH?
was mainly ETH. We had mainly ETH, some BTC and some stables. So
Okay.
maybe if it's a good time to just be sharing the website to give a bit of a simplified version, so you get to see as well where we are at the.
Sure. Well, actually,
Perfect.
can I ask you? I actually have a question first, Jan.
Yeah, sure.
Leave the website up. This is good.
Yeah.
You mentioned MantaDAO a couple times. Can you just go over that with us? What is MantaDAO?
MantaDAO was basically the DAO that was the predated Liquidy. So I mean, it was we had a Manta token on Kujira, and that one we have migrated over, and the owners of the Manta token are now the owners of the Liquidity Treasury. So it was essentially the same community, the same owners that migrated over a similar way like the Kujira owners did. They took the Kujira token and migrated it over on THORChain, and now they have Rujira tokens and are owners of the Rujira community instead.
Got it. Okay.
So that's the history of Liquidity, is basically MantaDAO. And we took we had MantaDAO, but we thought the transition onto THORChain was a good time to rebrand and maybe do things a bit more professionally looking, and I mean, updated everything to have a new brand and a new look and feel to it, to have a new start as well, given the old drama and everything we had as well before.
Great. Thank you for
So
that.
it's essentially the same thing. It's just that it's a rebrand. MantaDAO and Liquidity is the same thing. Liquidity is the rebranded version of MantaDAO.
Okay, great. So, okay, Liquidity, blockchain profits for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to walk us through?
Yeah,
the site
exactly.
here?
So I mean, what we try to do is essentially be a professionally run market maker using all the DeFi primitives on Rujira. So essentially, you can be an owner of Liquidity and be having a part ownership in market making, in staking, in lending, all the things that the community decides we want to do with our treasury. So we have, and as well, we have the swap router as well. So we're having a treasury that we're trying to optimize the revenue streams with, and we have the swap router that is another revenue stream for us. So if we look at, currently we have about 500,000 in market making. We used to have more before I mean, obviously BTC, ETH, everything has been going down lately. And so has our treasury. And then we have the swap router. So those are the main revenue streams. And with transparency, we want to have total transparency. So, I mean, this is not live, but almost live. It's indexed a few times a day, so it's not really live, but it's, so the net treasury, excluding our own token, is 700K around, where large cap is 84%. So it's BTC, ETH, USDC. Some still in the wallet. Most of their capital is deployed into market making or staking at the moment. And then you can see exactly what positions do we have. We have BTC USDC, 300K, ETH USDC, 100K. And then obviously we provide liquidity for our own token as well. So it can be traded. It's quite thin. So it's easy to move the price, and that's on purpose right now. We will see later when we come to the valuation of the token at the moment. But you have, you can click, and get detailed views on exactly how much are we earning per day on our positions, what positions do we have, what range they are in. There's tons of information on here if you want to dig into the weeds, or you can just stay on top of it and say, I want to be a passive one. I think this is a good community of people that I'm believing they will do the best for my fund. So I can just put a bunch or some funds in here and rest it, and they let them actually manage it in a way.
So this is all capital owned by Liquidy,
Yes,
which
exactly.
in essence, every Liquidy token holder has, owns their pro rata
A part
portion.
ownership in this, exactly.
Yeah. So in theory, like with in TradFi, you look at like the book value or an asset value of an investment. If you're to liquidate it all and send that money to the individual shareholders, in theory, the same thing could be done with Liquidy. You could liquidate all of this into a stable coin, distribute it to your Liquidy token holders, and that's how much, that's what they would get, right? So
Yeah.
in theory, the Liquidy price should track your NAV or track your
exactly.
book value.
And now we're just, let's just jump into one, well, you say it. So we have the token, and here you have valuation. And here you see the interesting part.
Okay.
And you can see exactly, the market cap currently is 500,000. And we just said the treasury is 700K. So actually you can buy blue chip tokens, mainly BTC, Ethereum, some bRUNE, some Rujira, for 70 cents of the dollar.
So like in TradFi, you'll have like a closed-end fund. Like the rule of thumb is closed-end funds trade at a discount to NAV. And it's because you can't redeem the shares for the underlying assets, right? You can't close the gap. And so some funds, what they'll do is they'll make their shares redeemable for the underlying, and that brings the NAV the price to NAV closer to one times multiple. One, are you guys, as a Liquidy token holder, can I actually redeem for the underlying, assets, held by the Treasury? And if not,
No, you can't.
something you've thought about, or maybe something you can try and manage? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think we want to do that, because what we have a mission to provide as much liquidity as possible on Rujira, because the more liquidity we have, the reason why we have this MNAV today is nobody's knowing Liquidity. Everything is new. The engine has barely started on Rujira at the moment. So we were an unknown investment vehicle. So the first step is to do marketing, show off. And what we've done and what we have invested some development effort into is to doing automated reporting, so we can actually show the revenue growth that is going to be going on forward. And we can look at it as well. We have automated reports monthly where you can have some actions, what we've done during the month, and then you have at least semi-professional net treasury over time, revenue and net income over time, the market cap over time, valuation over time, treasury highlights, income statements. So all this is done. I mean, it's a push of a button to get all these figures out. So the first of the new month, we just push a button, get a professional reporting. So this is where I come back to what we want to, or what drew me into Liquidy from the beginning. We want to do this transparently, professionally, and so anyone can make a solid decision. I mean, is this something for me? Is this something? So, I mean, we can do the growth. I mean, it's tiny numbers as of now, but I mean, this is, the engine is starting and we see already, I mean, the market making is $374 just in May when we started. June was half a month due to the THORChain hack basically as well. So, I mean, it should almost be double, and we can see that on the live numbers later as well. So we have the main revenue streams, market making, the swap route, and the staking rewards. And then we have staking incentives. Since we haven't had any revenue, the community has voted for having some kind of staking rewards. So it's an inflationary reward at the moment, but we track that as a cost, all development costs. We have no recurring development cost. This is on a case-by-case decision. We want to do something. So this is actually indexing of data and making the monthly report possible. So this is a payment. Operating expenses, this was the yearly hosting cost. That's not going to come back. So you see in June we had nothing. And then you have the balance sheet and tokens. I mean, you have I would say at least, I mean, one of the better reporting tools for a tiny project in the crypto ecosystem.
So I noticed you got half. Basically, you have two main revenue sources: the market making and staking. Why do I need liquidity to stake? I can just stake on my own. And like, what
you
exactly
can market
are you
make
staking?
on your own?
Are you staking like Ethereum on the Ethereum chain?
No. All of our treasury is on THORChain. So if we go back to the treasury, what we're staking is Rujira and bRUNE. So the staking positions are these two.
Okay, gotcha.
So what we're using DAO as tooling. So all the treasury is held on a smart contract owned by the token holders, and everyone who's staking has an equivalent share of voting power of the treasury. So nothing is happening apart from a proposal is being made, is being voted on, and is executed on chain. Everything is on chain. Nothing goes besides it. So if we want to do an investment, we usually have a Discord discussion. I propose that we acquire some more RUNE and stake bRUNE, for example. And then there's an ongoing discussion. After the discussion, depending on how much discussion it is, it's usually 3 to 7 days or something. Then it goes to an on-chain vote where the token holders vote. Are we in favor of this or not? And if we are, we're actually doing the investment. So it's a super transparent way of doing, but we are limited to use the THORChain, because if we can't hold funds in this smart contract, it's just that sits on THORChain. We can't hold funds elsewhere.
Okay. And like you mentioned the governance process, you mentioned Discord and stuff, but like, is the LQDY token, is it actually a governance token as well? Like, do people actually vote?
It's a governance token.
Okay.
It's a governance token, and it's potentially, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's an ownership. So you have the claim on the DAO assets as well. Okay. Like you said, but you can't ask to redeem it. But if we say we want to just stop operating, it would be the process. We would liquidate all the treasury and send it to the staked accounts.
So if 51% of the LQDY token holders did want to wind up, they could.
Yeah.
Or is it supermajority?
Essentially that's the case. Yes, it is a DAO and it's a voting
So
process.
is it a simple majority or supermajority required to do that?
It is. What? Explain to me what's the difference, since I'm not native English.
Sorry,
Yeah.
51% or 67%?
No, it's a 51%.
Okay. So what I'm just thinking is, like, if I was like a capitalist pig, I go buy up 51% of the LQDY tokens at a 30% discount to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I go vote to liquidate it, I'd make an instant 30% gain, basically.
Yeah. And
Um,
to navigate this, because I mean, this is always a case for when you have a treasury held in a DAO. So what we have to mitigate this risk is basically we have a multisig that has a veto power. It can't do anything with the treasury, but it can veto a proposal. So if you would, let's say, buy enough tokens to put up a proposal and say, send all the funds to me, we have this multisig that has the veto power. So we can say, no, we block this. We will not send all the funds to you personally.
well, doesn't that prevent your token from trading at par? Like, don't you want to have the ability for someone to buy the majority of the tokens and redeem them? Like, that's not
Yeah, but
stealing. Like, that's yeah,
but it is. I mean, it's if it would liquidate the DAO, I would say it's not stealing. But if I say send all the funds to me, I mean, then if you have 51% of the tokens and say I want all the funds to me personally, that's stealing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry, that isn't what I meant. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, we don't want that, of course. Just like Bonk, right? This
Yeah,
happened.
exactly. That's what happened with Bonk. I mean, you had
Yeah.
a community that was sleeping on the pills. So someone just bought the tokens, send all the treasury to me, and then nobody voted apart from the ones. I mean,
Yeah. No, that's not what I mean. Sorry, what I meant was, well, I guess it's the same thing. If you can either you enter a vote to send the treasury all to me, or you enter a vote to send the treasury pro rata to all token holders. I guess it's the same process, right? Same mechanism. So
it is essential. I mean, since it is you a proposal is, I mean, send funds to someone or send funds to the staking contract that is going to be distributed to the token holder staking. And that's the big difference. I would say, I mean, if the community would say we don't want to operate anymore, I don't think, I mean, we would, that would be a proper discussion and a proper way of honor that decision. But that would be sending it to the token holders.
yeah, but that'd be like a
But if
manual
someone would
thing.
say, send the funds to me, then there is this veto
Yeah.
power.
I'm just trying to think of what, like, natural market forces, natural ways for the market to drive the LQDY token closer to NAV. And so I guess yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we have as a community, we said, I mean, we have a few options. We have revenue streams. We can do buybacks. So when the MNAV is below 1, we can do buybacks to push up the price ourselves with the revenue.
Yeah.
And if it's above 1, I mean, we can sell liquidity tokens because we sit on 70 million liquidity tokens. If there is a super demand for the liquidity token, we could actually sell it. And that's only beneficial for the token holders if the MNAV is above 1.
Yeah. And when
So
you
that's
buy
what
or
we did back in the Kujira days. We had bonded tokens. We actually sold Manta tokens 1 year locked at as a specific price, to not having, I mean, an immediate sell pressure. So there are a lot of possibilities, and that's all up to the community. So that's what we say. I mean, all we want to grow the protocol-owned liquidity. So I mean, use the revenue to just increase the current positions or create new positions to even increase the treasury. And I mean, and make this even more appealing to invest in.
Yeah. And just to be clear, when you say protocol and liquidity, you mean by that's different than THORChain protocol own liquidity. You're talking about Liquidy's own
Treasury, essentially.
Yeah. I might maybe ask you, I don't know, maybe kind of rephrase things on your website so people don't confuse it with THORChain's POL, because I imagine THORChain's POL is going to become more of a term, a topic, and it might help not to conflate the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
LOL.
exactly. And it's always difficult because you don't have
yeah, POL.
the use.
POL.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what we say is, I mean, the treasuries, we have the DAO has a treasury, and we use it in certain ways. So if you, the naming is difficult. I mean, protocol on liquidity treasury, or because this is all, I mean, all is governed by the Liquidity token holders, and that's also something that could be, you can have protocol on liquidity that is managed by a subset of people or something. So it's
Cool.
Yeah.
So what about like raising external capital? Like, would you, if somebody came to you, or are you looking to raise more money for the treasury? So you have more liquidity. And if you are looking, or if you are open to that, would you do it at this discount, or would you do it at a premium?
No, I would say, I mean, I can't speak. Of course, that's going to be up for a vote, but I can't imagine people are wanting to sell a big chunk of tokens at a 30% discount. That's just, I wouldn't vote for that personally with my vote. If we are to sell, I mean, it has to be at the valuation, because we have, I mean, we have the treasury that is on chain and can be checked, that is this. We have revenue streams. It's not that passive token sitting around. We're trying to optimize revenue streams with this. So we have revenue streams on top of that. So in my book, the MNAV should be above 1. Otherwise, I wouldn't sell to anyone.
Maybe I should rephrase it.
Yeah.
What if somebody came and said, I want to buy 700 grand of LQDY tokens? That'd be a huge chunk, right? That obviously would move the price.
And then it could be an OTC deal, of course, but at the specific valuation that is.
But would you do it at 0.71 or
no? I would say no. But I mean, I'm not the one deciding. It's the community deciding.
Okay.
So it would be a discussion in the community.
Okay, gotcha.
And then it could be an OTC deal at whatever price is agreed upon.
So I'm just wondering, are you happy with the size of the treasury? Like, would you like it to grow? Or is
of course, we would like it to grow. I mean, it's good for everyone if we can make it bigger, because then we can have bigger market making positions. That is going to be better books, better trading experience for anyone trading on Rujira. It would be better swap rates for our swap router itself. So the more liquidity we can get on chain, the better. But it has to be at a fair price to the existing token holders.
Of course, yeah. Okay, good. So your market making, how does this work? So like there's all this talk about, the community's always wanted to have like a protocol, like to have like a community owned market maker or arbitrage. Well, I should say back. I apologize. The community's always wanted some kind of like communally owned arbitrage bot or something. Could this could Liquidy's market maker be like a good way to do that to get exposure to it? Like, I know market making arbitrage is slightly different, but would this be like a good maybe second way, other way to kind of get involved? Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Does my question
Yeah,
make
I mean,
sense? I'm sorry.
it doesn't. I mean, and this is what I mean, the ecosystem is quite complex as it is. You have the base layer pools and you have the Rujira order books that having the virtualization strategy. That is, you have external market price and you have external arbitrage that is moving the base layer price. And if the base layer price deviates from the Rujira books, you have the virtualization strategy that is balancing that arbitrage opportunity. And then you have a third one that where we come in as well, where we can say, we can have Liquidity paired with USDC, Liquidity paired with BTC. And there's no base layer pool for Liquidity at the moment. So if BTC price deviates, there's going to be an opportunity to swap from either BTC to BTC using the balancing this balance. And here we can increase as well. I mean, we can have Liquidity ETH pools. We can increase the number of pools and the number of possible ways that is increasing the arbitrage opportunities on the Rujira books. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
So
Danny,
this is what we're discussing, and because right now we have, and that's what I've been seeing as well, because a little bit later when we come to the swap router, I mean, we have the option that I can say, I want to swap from USDC to USDC. And in the early days, there were quite a lot of opportunities, but now the virtualization strategy is bypassing and taking a big chunk of that. But I could swap from USDC, 50 USDC and get 52 USDC, just because the Rujira trade books were not balanced. I could find paths, just saying I want USDC and I wanted USDC back in the end, and I could get more. So that's a super simple way of doing an arbitrage in a way. Now, what we have the opportunity with the Treasury is to improve the ways to do that, because that's going to improve the volume and it's going to improve the opportunities for us as a market maker to make money, as well as if we decide, we've said so far that we will not make an arbitrage bots ourselves at the moment. We'll let the community do that. For this, we have an API where it's super simple to do it. And we can look at the numbers as well later. Our swap router, it's tiny numbers at the moment, but there are people having bots already running. It's just a few $100 a day, but it's still, I mean, that's going to be, if the books are bigger, there's going to be bigger opportunities for this as well. And this is just balancing the books on the Rujira side.
Makes sense.
You mentioned the LQDY token isn't on the base layer. Is there a reason? Will you ever do it?
Potentially, it could be. I think it was a discussion. I think actually it was a proposal back in the days when Auto wanted to do a base layer pool. So I'm not. It may already have been voted on. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay.
That's an option. That could be. I mean, if it makes sense and we don't spread the liquidity too thin on every single part, it could be an option. Because if we have a demand for the token, it's a win-win for everybody to make it more easily accessible. Because right now you have to deposit ETH USDC into Rujira or whatever token to swap into Liquidity. If we would do that, I mean, then you wouldn't have to have that piece of friction.
Yeah,
wait, sorry, did you say you need to have the Ruji token in order to swap in the Liquidity?
No, not the Ruji token, but you have to have a secured asset on Rujira to be able to swap into Liquidity.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge barrier to entry for you. Like that's
yes.
Yeah. Well, this is a beautiful part of THORChain, right? You have your token listed on THORChain, you get access to all kinds of liquidity.
But the thing with Liquidity, to be able to participate, you would still have to eventually get into the secured asset space and stake it and participate on the in the governance. So you would need to have a wallet that is supported on THORChain to be able to participate.
Yeah.
In it eventually, but it's still I mean, I see different layers. I mean, you could have token holders just wanting to have access to the price appreciation.
Right.
And then, I mean, you don't have to participate at all.
Yeah.
And the next level would be, I mean, I'm staking it, so I would have the voting rights as well as the potential yield being paid out if we decide to do that. Because that's also an option. I mean, if we have the revenue and we don't want, for whatever reason, I don't see it personally in the short term. I mean, we are a startup. What makes sense is either reinvest or buy back.
Yeah.
To grow the pie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like every stock, I mean, it's the mature ones that are doing dividends.
Yeah.
But it's up to the community to decide. So it's.
I kind of want to do a quick tangent. You mentioned a wallet that supports secured assets. There's not that many out there, is there? What wallet do you use, and what wallets, if we're going to go and press some wallets to try and, support secured assets, which ones do you think we should go after?
The current ones, I mean, the one that coming from the Cosmos is the Keplr wallet and the multisig. Those are the two big ones.
And
today.
Keplr wallet, it does support secured assets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what most of the people, and then that's what the Rujira folks has had best support with as well on chain, because that's let's say, I mean, it's been around for very long and it's a Cosmos dedicated wallet. Initially, that has expanded into having support for Ethereum based chain and Bitcoin chain as well.
Are there any other wallets that we should try and get secured assets supported on, you think?
Eventually, I mean, I think it would make sense potentially to get all the other ecosystem wallets support. But I mean, then you have the Cosmos is a small, and to be honest, it hasn't been that vibrant lately. So I mean, to get new ones support Cosmos, I don't know. I mean, but it would be nice. I mean, to have,
there was like one or two other wallets, you think?
I mean, the main ones on Ethereum chain. I mean, if you could get support for MetaMask or Rebbe or whatever is on Ethereum and Phantom wallet on Solana potentially. We don't have Solana on Rujira at the moment yet, but I mean, Phantom is another big one that would be.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for that. Danny, I've been kind of going on here for quite a bit. Did you want to jump in? Did you have any questions?
Yeah. So right now, this is the early days of, Rujira, Liquidity, of course. You have the market making, you have the staking. You did mention something I wanted to ask about earlier. You talked about Auto Rujira, all these different things. So I just want, can we look forward into the future? What more do you see Liquidity? Let's assume blowout success because we're optimistic here. That's how we do things. What do you see Liquidity getting more involved in? Different strategies, new primitives, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And to optimize, I mean, by nature, a DAO is a slow moving organism, because I mean, you have the discussion part, you have the decision part. I mean, it could be potentially that we want to be more actively market making, for example. Let's say we want to dedicate, we say X amount of treasury, we let a group of people handle that can handle it much more nimble in a faster way. So then we could have more optimized CCL positions. Right now we have quite wide ranges if we look at them again. So
Jan, can you hear me? I can barely. You're cutting in and out, and I can't even hear you.
I hear him really good. I hear him really good. Can you hear me, Kenton?
Maybe it's my internet then.
Yeah, it might be. I hear him perfectly.
Okay, keep going then. Sorry, Jan.
Yeah. Like you say, see now, I mean, we have defined market making into, I mean, base position that we shouldn't have to touch for a long time. And then we said for Bitcoin, we have 50,000 to 250,000. That we hope is, I mean, a pretty solid one we don't have to touch. And then we have a 50 to 150. And then we have what we say yield optimized, but it's still quite wide range. To be able to even earn more on the tokens, potentially we could say we want to dabble with quite narrow positions to optimize yield. But that's not for a DAO and a voting process. Then I would say we need to have a multisig, a group of people operating those funds. So you can change quite rapidly. And that's something, I mean, you can have an investment. We can say the DAO says we want to allocate 10,000 USDC or whatever to these people and fly with it. Try to make it whatever possible. I mean, within reasonable, don't gamble with it, but try to optimize the revenue for this. And if we see we can, I mean, so there's a lot of, I mean, trial and error to find the best, and depending on the market conditions as well, because sometimes we have, I mean, range bound prices, and then it's difficult to make yield because what we're actually making money off is volatility. And if we don't have volatility, you have to have quite narrow ranges to be able to do revenue. But once the market moves, I mean, you can't have narrow, then within minutes, you're out of range. So, I mean, you have to adapt to the current market conditions. So it's a skill set, and it's a trade, I would say. I've been doing this for 9 years, and I'm still learning and trying to find the optimal way of doing things with my personal funds in different market conditions. But it's not a one way you set and forget. And I think that's the beauty of this as an investment vehicle. If we can make this, I mean, it's perfect because most people don't want to do this on a day-to-day basis. I want to make money, and use all the primitives potentially available, but I don't want to have to make the decisions on a daily basis. I want to be able to trust. Yep, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. So, okay, that makes sense to me. But maybe some people are like more geared towards like a long-term time horizon, safe yield. So, like, would you think about getting involved in like the lending functionality, depositing a little, liquidity, having safe liquidation parameters? Is that something you think Liquidity might get involved in?
Yeah. And I mean, and it's all up to the community to decide the risk level we want to take on it, because currently we do everything. And the stables currently we have parked in lending, for example. It's earning 3% yield. It's not that much, but it's better than having them in the wallet.
Yeah, well, it's early days, right? I mean, this is I don't really care about APYs when we have such a brand new financial primitive coming online. I mean, we're literally learning how to crawl here, right? I mean, this is the early days. So, okay, yeah, all right. So I'm sorry I missed the lending. You already had it in the aspect there. Specifically,
So
go ahead.
No, so I mean, we see ourselves as a power user of this. Is we're quite tightly linked to the Rujira core team. I mean, we're following what they are doing, and I mean, we can dabble with new features or new opportunities or new primitives early on. I mean, being a beta tester or whatever, and to learn and evolve together and optimize how things are. So, I mean, we see ourselves as a core community member as well, in that sense that we want the best for the THORChain and the Rujira ecosystem. So we want to be not only just trying to cannibalize on and optimize the yield. I mean, we want everything to thrive together, because that's where the big money is not made right now. It's going to be when we have the flywheel running. And to do that, we have to help each other, I mean, and find the ways to get that better. I think that's one of the things I like with the Liquidity community. I mean, we are not trying to cannibalize and just make ourselves profit. We want to grow the ecosystem in alignment as well as making money, of course.
Well, the more successful the community, like then that it's a positive feedback loop in many directions. So that makes sense. What would you guys consider? And I know it's a DAO, but is there been any talk about acquiring any other exogenous assets besides stables, Ethereum, and Bitcoin? Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, we said earlier on that once Solana was going to be brought on, we will try to do some market making on that as well. So I think that's going to be as soon as that is available. Essentially, any token or anything that is brought on chain that we see potential in long term is a potential investment opportunity. So, I mean, nothing is set in stone. This is what it looks like today. And tomorrow, it's just a discussion away what we want to do. So
Love it.
that's
Awesome. So, okay. So what about AI specifically? Because the Auto Rujira thing, that's something that's just getting started. That's going to pick up steam. I know you mentioned that earlier. You talked about like maybe a team trying to, make good decisions, executive decisions for market making or whatever. What about the automations? Because I know that's kind of a hot topic. Do you see Liquidity getting involved heavily with that?
yes, for sure. I mean, and this, I mean, the product we have today that is, I mean, it is our swap router that we have. And here you can see, I mean, if I want to buy 2,000 USDs worth of Liquidity, it would say the best route, or it would send 60% of the funds through USDC to BTC to Liquidity, 40% straight. That's the best way to do this swap today. And for any automation, having a good swap route engine is a key part to having getting the best rate, whatever you want to do. If you need token C to be able to do something, you have to get it. And to acquire it in the best way on the Rujira ecosystem is to use the Liquidity swap router.
Yeah, and I think this kind of goes to Kenton's point of just having, like, maybe adding the asset. Is it's like to remove that friction, because that's always the first step, is just getting a hold of the asset itself. And then I think that would be a great way to, reduce the friction to get people into, staking or doing what and going down the rabbit hole of liquidity. Kenton, were you trying to say something? I think I stepped on you.
No, you didn't step on me. I was stepping on you. But I just wanted to ask
sorry,
Jan. Sorry, Jan, go ahead.
I just saw it open a new tab. You didn't see the swap router. I was trying to show this.
Okay. There you go. Perfect.
And this is a perfect segue into my question. So I wanted you to explain this, the swap router. So this is the Liquidity swap router?
Yes.
Okay. And
so this is essentially having all the Rujira trade books and finding the best route from token, whatever you select. RUNE to Liquidity, whatever. Here you see you have RUNE BTC because you don't have a straight pair. You have to. And well, the TCY is not a good one. And you could acquire from whatever token, from Rujira straight to bRUNE. Oops, it did.
It worked. It worked for a second there. I saw. There we go.
Yeah, but it was, yeah. Yeah, so so it is essentially a routing algo on the Rujira trade book, similar to whatever the base layer swap router.
Well, what's the difference between, sorry for being dense. So like if I want to go to Ruji.network or Ruji Trade, is that different than using your swap router, or are they both the same?
They're both using the same order books. And yeah, I mean, and obviously, I mean, we're not doing this pro bono as well. There is a fee using our swap router. So it's a 0.1% fee on top.
Okay.
So if
sorry.
That's all.
Sorry,
so if
Jan,
I say USDC to BTC, that's a quite dense pool, so it's going to be the optimal route is most likely going to be the straight pair. And then we don't actually add any value. Then you might as well just use the base trading pair. What is it? The usual. So here you see, this is just using the same. So this is, something is flunky. It should be. Here you see, it's a straight pair, so it's exactly the same thing. It's using the same as if you'd go on Rujira network and do on the BTC USDC pair.
Okay,
and do a swap.
So these are all still secured assets. This isn't.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Everything is secured assets on the swap router. So we don't have any integration with the base layer pools straight. It is. But it's via the virtualization strategy that the base layer pools are exposed to the Liquidity swap router.
Yeah.
So that's the abstraction.
Okay, cool. Okay, so basically this is your swap router is like a competing front end to Rujitrade.
I wouldn't say competing front end. I think we are trying to improve on the experience you have on the Rujitrade, where you have to go pair by pair. Because if I want to go from, let's take Auto, for example, since that is, Auto just has one pair, USDC. But if I want to buy BTC, I have to do 2 swaps on Rujitrade.
Okay. Okay.
Here you just do it, and you don't have to find the best route as well. Because here's where we have in tandem with our market making arm, where we can add new trading pairs, which is going to be more possible routes, and they are going to be off, so it's going to be more tricky to find the best route. Like I said, on the, let's say, USDC bRUNE might be if we do a bigger one. And I mean, you have the split functionality as well, so it's splitting. So it's not all the funds going the same route.
Oh, so that's because, let's make sure, let me get my smooth brain to catch up. So there's a USDC and bRUNE pool on Ruji, and there's a USDC and Bitcoin pool and a Bitcoin to bRUNE pool.
Exactly.
And so and so 70% of the trade can go through the USDC and bRUNE pool, but then because it's such a big trade, the slippage is going to be higher.
Yeah.
And so to make sure the slippage isn't too high, you're putting 30% of the trade from USDC to Bitcoin to bRUNE, because that'll actually get you a better price than had you put all 100% of the trade through USDC in the bRUNE pool.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is still getting the user a better return, even though we take a small fee on top of it.
Interesting. This is good.
And on top of that, what the beauty of this is, because on Rujitrade, if you would have done a one-side trade, it would have just been a market fee of one pair, because you would just be swapping here. Now we say we do one swap here, and even Rujira is taking a fee here on this leg and another one on this leg. So this is actually giving them double fees, and still better deal for the user.
Gotcha. I just marked this.
So this is, I see this as a symbiosis where we actually get the end user a better deal. We get more fees for Rujira, and we take a small fee for ourselves as well. So this is a beautiful, I mean, where there is actually a win-win-win when you have these kind of scenarios, because the user doesn't care how many, it might be 5 swaps here, 5 hops. And that's much better for the Ruji stakers to get fees 5 times on the same swap.
Yeah, this is great. I actually just marked this part of the podcast. I'm going to get Coke we need to clip this and put this out there, because I didn't know about this. I'm assuming a lot of people don't know about this, so we got to make sure the community understands this. Yeah, this is great.
Absolutely.
Good idea, man.
Yeah. And to be, no, it's not, we just played around to have some fun in the community a while back. So here's what we say. We had the arbitrage. Now there are no opportunities. But here we had a simple page where you can see if you want to go from USDC to USDC. And we had a bot saying, now there's an opportunity. So, I mean, you could actually find things here. It was maybe five hops going from 50 USDC to 52 USDC, which is making the end user earning an arbitrage of $2. And it's going to be 5 swaps on Rujira trade for that same thing. So it's a really good way, but obviously arbitrage is a bot game in the end. So what we've done as well is to provide an API with optimized API endpoints where you can query if there are arbitrage opportunities to be made. And then, so I mean, here you have if it's going to be AI or whatever, I mean, or bots making this, but they will balance the Rujira side of the books. And if the more books we have, the more balance, the ways there are to balance, and the more fees there are to be made, and the more opportunities. So I think what we want to see eventually is, I mean, we will want to expand on the trading pairs on Rujira, so we have more ways to find the best path. Because every time BTC price changes, if we have more ways to get BTC on Rujira trade, there's going to be more volume made.
Nice. Danny,
Sorry for the delay there. Yeah, sorry for the delay. I was responding to Rujira guys because they're like, the recording didn't work? And I'm like, no, sorry guys, it didn't friggin' work. They didn't have any questions here, but I'm really excited for them to see this because I think this is great. And I love what you guys are doing here. So will there be any so with redacted, the privacy element to this, is there any way we can add privacy to this liquidity functionality? Is that something you thought about?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's going to be transparent. That's my understanding, at least, that if you're using redacted, I mean, you will be able to use all the Rujira primitives in a private way. And that would mean that you could use the swap router in a private way as well. So, I mean, you can swap anything to anything using the swap router via the redacted. That's my understanding, at least.
So that would be available on this side as well. Is kind of where I'm driving at.
Yeah, because all we do is we have a contract that is where you can do many swaps in one, essentially. That's what the swap contract is. So we have an off-chain router that is finding the best route, and then we just pass it to a smart contract that is executing multiple swaps in a sequence.
Would you consider, as Liquidity, would you consider getting into bonding? Would you bond bRUNE potentially as a bond provider? Is that possible? Is that something you could do?
At the moment, I think the only way we have is to use the bRUNE bonding mechanism because that's the way that is exposed on the DAOs. Essentially, they are held in a contract. The contract, to my understanding, cannot be a native bond provider.
Okay. Makes sense. So yeah, you require that smart contract functionality. So was that something you think Liquidity could do? Just hypothetically?
If it's technically possible, I don't see any.
Yeah,
I think it is down to be able to do it because, like we said, I mean, what we have currently is this bRUNE. We have almost 170K rune bonded via the bRUNE functionality.
Oh, so it is bonded right now. Did I miss that?
Yeah, exactly. It's bonded from staking bRUNE.
Sorry, I understand.
So
I apologize.
Yeah. So, and that's where we are as well. As I mean, we are a committed community member. We will. I mean, we are committed to the success of THORChain and Rujira. So, obviously, we want to have a stake in that as well, and show our commitment to that. And to be honest, I mean, bRUNE or bonding RUNE is a really nice yielding opportunity as well. I mean, and to be able to expose that in it as well too. So this is where it comes from, where I'm restating that as a basic investor, I can see potential investment opportunities that I can say, I don't just want to have all this. I might be, so I mean, you can really find investment opportunities via Liquidy's investments. I say, I want to have a bigger portion of RUNE. Bonded RUNE is a way for me to learn about that feature. Because here you can see, now since it hasn't been any churn, but here you can see on a day-by-day basis, how much is Liquidity making by the bonded RUNE. So with this transparency, I mean, we want to show off the potential and of the Rujira trade or the Rujira primitives, so to say. So you can see, and if you find something more interesting, I mean, I mean, you have the community to just ask, how can I do this by myself if I want to take part in this? So I think that's the strength, where you have a community members that are really good at what are the DeFi options we have. So, I mean, you don't just have to invest in Liquid. I mean, we have the community knowing a lot. So if you're just interested in learning, you have a great community as well to just chat with and learn and evolve your own skill sets, so to say, if you want to.
I got another question. So you have Liquidity, you have this really great interface, and as Kenton alluded to earlier, it was really cool how you broke up trades, kind of like optimizing yields. You know, someone may look at this and say, you know, this is a really great interface. I want to stay here for all my needs. So would you guys consider doing like a widget or something like on with our own aggregator? And could you not just provide more functionality, like just real layer one swaps, and then that affiliate fee could go to your treasury as well, or get get swapped automatically to a secured asset, and that could be deposit? You see what I'm saying? Like, would you guys go down that route, you think? Is that possible?
It's possible, but I think that as well, I mean, I think that's where we don't want to just overcrowd the swap space. I think at the moment, now I'm speaking from my own.
Sure.
This is not the community sentiment, because we haven't goshed this question, but I think we want to be more of a B2B provider in that sense. So we don't see our swap interface to be the use. We want to be having a good API, and it's going to be agentic users that is going to be providing the most volume, probably. I mean, I think what is going to be trading the most is not end users. It's going to be AI bots.
Yeah, that makes
eventually.
sense. That makes sense. Okay.
I'm just wondering if, I'm trying to think if there's a way we go the opposite. If STO incorporates Liquidity somehow, because you can swap secured assets on STO, but it's just like it's not doing your smart routing. So I don't know if there'd be something there.
Yeah, like take their API or something, and
yeah, potentially. I mean, the thing is, I mean, it would need a initial deposit somehow from a base layer asset into a secured asset of that. And then, I mean, if you're able to do that, then, I mean, the swap router is open to be used as anything.
I thought that could be automated. I thought if you have an exogenous asset, you could, it doesn't matter, right? It's all abstract away, like the omni-chain experience. Let's say you have BTC, and that can all be automated in the background, right? Like, am I wrong about that? Or if you have
I think there are.
Is there some hurdles there?
I think there are some UI hurdles to be made.
Yeah.
Because if you have a BTC deposit, I mean, that's going to take a while.
Yes, that's true. Yep, that is correct.
So the UX is not going to be, I mean, you're having the immediate swap execution. The deposit has to be finalized, and you have to have the BTC as a secured asset until you can pick up the next swap routes. So that's definitely something to investigate. And
Yeah.
but I'm not 100% sure as well. I mean, I think that's something for Hans, and a little bit that's on the because there was some base layer integration. I'm not up to speed 100%, so I don't dare to touch exactly on how it works or would work and what's possible and not.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there something that we have not covered here that you would like to cover, Jandevman? Is there anything at all? I want to make sure that we give every opportunity. If there's any other thing you want to talk about, go for it.
No, I think this, actually, I think our website is a great place for anyone who want to either invest in Liquidity and get to know the system, or essentially to see what different, because I think we will elaborate with a lot of different settings for custom concentrated liquidity to find good options and good parameters, even if you want to dabble with it your own. So I'm just reiterating all the details you have on, you can see on this position. I mean, it's what the APR are, because it's slightly different. And I mean, so I think there is tons of information on the website in a transparent way. So I hope this is going to be an entry point for anyone who's interested in either existing positions or learning. I mean, I think the community is great to just get involved in the Telegram. There are tons of people. Just get involved if you want to learn or know things, because I see ourselves as a powerhouse of the Ruji ecosystem. It's a subset.
100%. I mean, you guys are in early, right? It's just early. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that are not turned on yet, and they are coming. So you are uniquely positioned, I would say, or one of the teams that is uniquely positioned to really join in. I think we had someone try to join. That's a random number. I don't know about that, Kenton.
Did you decline them, or?
I did not do anything. It's a random number. I think
why
that
not?
could
What
be
the heck? Maybe it's probably a mistake, but we can.
Okay.
Let's let them in. See what
All right,
happens.
let's see what happens. Hello, 19283714. Nice to meet you. Were you intending on joining the show? Do you have a question for Jandevman? We're not live, so this doesn't make sense, right? How would they even know to? I'm confused.
They need to open their Riverside tab.
Yeah.
The browser needs the tab to be in focus. I
Yes.
think you joined by mistake.
Yeah.
192. If you don't need to click on the link to listen. The link is to join, to ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll move it on here. There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, well, this has been great, man. I really like this granular breakdown of everything. I thought the questions that Kenton asked were really good about, taking this and giving a TradFi, perspective to it, as much of an equivalency as possible. I'm really glad we talked about the multisig stuff. This is great. I love it. And I'm sure when a lot of people in the community see this, they're going to have a lot of questions or a lot of interests.
Yeah.
This is good, man. This is great. This is great. I think you've done a great job today.
Yeah. And maybe just let's see there.
Okay, good.
On the transparency thing, I mean, you have all the accounts, everything controlled by multisig. And then maybe for the audience who's not that into the DAO, I mean, I can just show the DAO interface where everything is transparent. Here you have the proposals. So anyone with a token can create a proposal. So here you have the stake bRUNE deposit USDC into lending. So that's just a text. And then you have a bunch of smart contract execution. So it's actually either you can have just a text vote, or you can have the actual execution of the investments.
Can I interrupt real quick? So that's PM, the creator. So PM, and there's other people who are making proposals. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah.
Pragmatic Monkey. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And the beauty. I mean, this is really powerful. I just show you to as the DAO, because I mean, obviously, I mean, not anybody is gonna create this kind of things. This is quite, what contract am I going to interact with? That's not how a regular user. So what you have is actually, as the DAO, I can open Rujira network. See the portfolio of the DAO as the user. So here you can see, I mean, what we have here you can as well see the positions in the regular Rujira way. And what makes this, if I want to make a proposal to, let's say, lend some USDC, I go into deposit. Now we don't have much in Treasury, but then I just say accept, lend. And what this is doing is actually creating a proposal where it is saying it's depositing the USDC, and then I just create the text. So I think
Kenton's
this is
got the sirens.
Oh, sorry,
yeah. No, this just adds to the drama of the video. I love it. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Now, so I think this is super powerful for Liquidity or anything. I mean, you can actually interact on. It's not interact, but you can, on behalf of the DAO, I want to make this proposal, but I'm just clicking the way I would as an end user doing the same investment. So, I mean, the underlying DAO tooling is excellent. So it's really powerful in the, and just to follow as well, if you're interested to see what, here I had the payment of the report or the development. So it's whatever funding is sent to my wallet, I say, and then it's a voting process where people get to vote. And if okay, it's just to execute that. So it is 100% on chain, everything. And I think that's quite rare. And we are really breaking boundaries. It's not easy. And as well, I mean, I can say, I mean, we're hosting everything on a cash network, which is decentralized. And that's not the easiest way to do it, but we wanted to try to do it in a decentralized way. To really, so it's.
No, I think this is great. Everything's on chain. Everything's audible. It's transparent. I mean, that's exactly what you want. I mean, what we're trying to build here, that was the whole, that's the whole thing with like what Code Hans was trying. He was wanting to make the entire app layer, right, to be on chain, unlike a centralized exchange where, you know, what's the Oracle feed? What's the internal ledger? Is there shenanigans being happening? Price feeds, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of things to manipulate. I think this is well in the spirit of just trying to create something that's 100% transparent every single way possible, or it just is 100% transparent, I should say. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. This is the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to set the bar or the standard. I mean, for anyone, and if anyone is just eager to do the DAO or whatever, I mean, have their own thing, they want to run it. I think we have been trying for some time and have experience to share with anyone wanting to dabble with it, setting up a new DAO, doing something else or whatever. I mean, I think we're open and happy to share our experience as well to grow the pie if we have more people wanting to get involved and do things in the spirit.
Right. Yeah. This is great, man. This is great. I think we've gone through the whole thing, breaking it down, what it is, how it works, the projections of what you guys wanting to do. And when I say you guys, I mean the community is large. This is a DAO after all, and the proposal structure. This is awesome. Was there anything else, Jan? We are coming over an hour and a half. It's going to be, you know, 2 recordings, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Was there
I
anything
think,
else?
No, it's just if anyone is interested. I mean, we have the Telegram is in it's Liquidity Finance, and you have the Telegram and everything in there if you want to get involved or just to know more about it. Please just join. I mean, everybody's super friendly and happy to engage, and it can be just simple questions or wanting to actually take part and drive the discussion and have ideas how to do things. So I mean, you have all levels. Everybody's welcome. It's
Love. Absolutely love it. Kenton, was there anything else that you wanted to ask or at all? Or you think this
No,
might be a good spot to wrap?
This has been great. I really appreciate you doing this, Jan. I have a much better understanding what Liquidy is. I hope the community does. I really like your swap router. I think that's great. Hopefully, I think we got to try and do our best to make sure everybody knows about that, in the community, that they understand what you're doing there. Hopefully we'll get some more eyes on that for you.
yeah,
But yeah, man, like let's not be strangers. We'd love to have you back on here again in several months, or if you guys have some new update, anything you're rolling out that you're excited about, you want to promote, talk about, let us know. We'll get you back
yeah,
on the podcast. And
yeah, for
so
sure. I mean, that's what we are looking forward to as well. I mean, we have been staying quite silent as well. We want to have the engine running, have some numbers in the reports. I mean, have some revenue to show, not just to bark, and actually have something. So while time passes, and I mean, the engine is firing up on all cylinders. I mean, I think it's going to be more powerful, and we're going to try to make more noise and engage a bit more with the community in large as well, and not just stay in our little pond.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
100%.
well, dude, I mean, you got me. I didn't know where you guys were at in your development, what you're doing, and this has been a pleasant surprise chatting with you. That how far along you are and how everything is done. And yeah, if someone's listening, oh, we only have 700,000, and like, well, you got to start somewhere, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything looks like you got like things are going right. So now seems like your beginning stage is done. Now you can work on phase 2. You can kind of go
Yeah,
take to the
for
next
sure.
level.
And I think once we have, if we can, and that's the reason we have the shallow liquidity as well in our own token, because we want to be able to, if we want to use our own revenue, we can quite easily push it on par to one MNAV, and then the OTC deals or whatever. I mean, we can actually start to expand the treasury by selling our own tokens, because that's, if we just quickly go back, I mean, we have a low circulating supply. Circulating is 6.7 million. We have a lot of tokens we can dabble with if the valuation is right, once we get the MNAV up. And there are potentially investors who want to get involved. So there are a lot of options once we get the valuation on par.
Would you, before you start buying your tokens, would you stop the rewards, stop the inflation?
It is a government discussion. So I'm personally against the inflation because I don't see any value in it. I mean, we're just paying ourselves. And for some, or in my jurisdiction, it's actually a taxable event, so it doesn't make sense at all.
Gotcha.
And before on the Kujira, I mean, we had both for some times, but we did do staking rewards, since that was an attractive way to say, I mean, we have an actually real yield staking APR coming from revenue streams. It is from a marketing position, it could be nice to have it, but from an investment position, it's not that. I mean, it's better to reinvest than pay it out.
Yeah.
Because we want to grow the pie rather than.
Yeah.
So, but it's a balance, and it's a community discussion ongoing, what to do with the revenues.
Yeah.
Kenton's going to get in there and just going to start leading things like a general from the
No,
front. I see it now, Kenton.
No, no offense. I'm going to stay out. No, I got enough battles to fight.
Oh, you need more things to do.
I don't. But I think Jan, sounds like you in the community, you got things handled pretty well.
Yeah, I think we have the ideas. We have to. The engine needs to be fired up and running, and then I mean, once we get the revenue, we can do. I mean, I think with the positive flywheel is going to be. It's going to come by itself, because I mean we will be able to show reports gradually getting better and better, revenues getting better, and everything. I mean, and if you can track it, I mean, that's a trust point as well. That for a new token, I mean,
100%.
Yeah, and you're
So
I mean, your model is pretty simple too. I don't mean that as an insult, but like the what's the saying? It's like
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS.
well, keep it simple,
KISS method.
stupid. But I want to say something like beauty. There, like there's beauty and simplicity, or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
elegance.
exactly. I mean, I think
yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, the hard part is making the difficult stuff simple.
Exactly.
In a sense. So, and that's what we try to do. I mean, making it super easy to be a power DeFi user on Rujira by just buying the token, or if you are a power user, I mean, you can drive the discussion and make it even better if you have ideas. So, I mean, you have a way for everybody in there, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see the Liquidity as a investment vehicle, that it could potentially attract anyone from the passive user to the really one wanting to drive things and optimize it.
Correct.
And it's like, this is, we can step back again, the power and beauty of DeFi. And I think this is kind of what drives the Rujira guys too, is like democratizing finance. Like all these, the things that in TradFi that really only exist to the big players, the big boys, people with deep pockets, or even deep connections. Market making is one of those things where it's
For
like,
sure.
market making is, the average investor doesn't even know what market making is, what it means, right? Let alone having the ability to invest in it directly and being sitting at the same table as the Citadels, the Ken Griffins and whatever. And the reason those TradFi, why those, like, that such big money is into market making, and it's such a great business, because it is a boring business in a sense. It's like very small numbers, but they add up over time. And that's what I see the beauty with you're doing with Liquidity, is that the average guy, the little guy, can get a seat at the same table as these big market makers, and but have the same return, make the same money.
The same return, and even getting the insights on what's actually happening. How are these returns being made?
Yeah.
That's 100% transparent as well. I mean, and you can learn and be, I mean, and if you want to be more nimble, I mean, and have some funds, you can do similar ways, or I mean, optimize it in your way, just by learning how the ropes are handled.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, guys. What do you say? Do you think this is a good time to wrap? I think that was a good, beautiful way to put a nice cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Jandevman, you go with that?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me. I mean, it's
thanks for coming.
Super excited. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I mean, it's great to making things known and available for the public, and because it's difficult to be in the trenches and getting the word out at the same time. So it's beautiful what you guys are doing and helping out with this part.
That's what it's all about. And thank you for joining the show. I mean, me and Kenton, we're just going to keep doing this. And as Kenton said, don't be a stranger, right? Like, you got an update, come right back. Go ahead, Kenton.
Well, we definitely have to have you back, Jen, because, well, first off, thank you. Appreciate the sentiment. But dude, we're not live. We're recording, but this is being live streamed. So we definitely need to have you back so we can do it, and we can have a do-over, so we're actually live.
I know, Riverside.
So, but yeah, thank you for that. That is honestly why we're doing this. Try and give you guys, right? You guys want to focus on building and everything. It was a great product, and we want to try and give you a platform and a way to talk about it and share it with the community in the world. And so any way we can do to help you with that, just let us know. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you heard it from Kenton. You've heard it from Jandevman. The website is liquidity.finance. LQDY.finance, you guys. That's how you find the site. Definitely reach out to @Jandevman on X. He's also on Telegram groups as well. This has been a fantastic podcast. I can't thank him enough. Jandevman, any final words before I get to the wrap? Before I wrap it up here?
No, sounds good. It's perfect timing, I think. Thanks very much.
Can you stop your share screen, please, Jan?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, guys, that is going to wrap up the episode. For the THORChain data and insights, please follow @RayAnalytics on X. He does written recaps of these podcasts too, does a great job. He'll surely have one here to break down all the amazing things that have been spoken here today. And always remember, guys, the views expressed are solely of the hosts and guests. Any action taken based on this information is at your own risk. Past performance is never indicative of future results, and the THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. Next Saturday, you guys, we're going to have Pirate Chain on the show. I cannot wait to talk to them. It's going to be a really great conversation. For the Thursday episode, we will see if Chad Barraford can join. I know he was really busy this last week, so he does not. But we will always have a good show for you guys on THORChain. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us today. I hope everyone has a great remainder of your weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.